NATO is built on alliances and collective defense. But what would happen if a member attacked another? Let's explore the risks and the consequences. This is a scenario unlike any other alliance challenge. It tests law, politics, and military strategy at once, and it could change the global balance. Here's how it might unfold. Welcome to Geopolitics. While the US and Europe are strong allies, disagreements over defense spending, military strategy, and global influence occasionally create tension. Spending targets vary, shaping perceptions of burden sharing. US forces underpin Europe's security architecture, but Europe's capabilities are growing and diversifying. Domestic politics often drive alliance positions. Public opinion can constrain military decisions, yet interoperability remains a shared priority. Exercises test readiness and reveal gaps. Differences emerge on where to focus and how fast to act. Economic tools blend with military planning. Understanding these dynamics is crucial for predicting outcomes if a crisis hits. NATO's core principle is Article 5, collective defense. An attack on one is treated as an attack on all. Membership expanded over decades with shared commitments. Consultation often precedes any collective action. Civilian and military chains coordinate responses. But what if a member initiates aggression? This triggers legal, political, and military complications. International law intersects with alliance obligations. The North Atlantic Council would debate, consult, and possibly withhold support. Outcomes range from mediation to sanctions within the alliance. National caveats could limit forces or logistics. Information sharing might be curtailed for risk control. Diplomatic channels would intensify to de-escalate. Time pressure raises the stakes and narrows options. Public statements would aim to preserve credibility. But unity could become conditional, not automatic. This is not a typical Article 5 situation. Procedures adapt, politics intervene, and the military machine slows. An intra-NATO conflict could escalate rapidly. Allied forces might hesitate to intervene or reposition to avoid fratricide. Rules of engagement would tighten overnight. Fuel, munitions, and airspace access become contested. Cyber defenses spike to prevent internal sabotage. Surveillance increases to separate facts from claims. Global powers might exploit the chaos, testing maritime boundaries and response times. Defensive assets would be placed on high alert. Spectrum control becomes a premium commodity. Deconfliction measures try to prevent incidents. Sustainment continues, but with legal strings attached. Buffer zones or no-fly areas could emerge. Alliances could fracture along national lines. Space-based assets monitor escalation indicators. Hesitation on the ground mirrors, hesitation at the top. Every movement weighed against alliance cohesion. A member attacking another raises questions under international law. The UN would convene emergency sessions. Definitions of aggression and self-defense matter. Courts could be asked to weigh violations. Could NATO suspend a member? Procedures are complex. Any step would require political consensus. Public messaging aims to reduce escalation incentives. Legislators scrutinize funding and deployments. Analysts debate precedent and deterrence. Credibility could take a hit if unity cracks. Back-channel diplomacy works overtime. Allies seek assurances to prevent spillover. Narratives compete in the court of public opinion. A clear roadmap can stabilize expectations. Ultimately, credibility depends on managed de-escalation. If institutions act predictably and fairly, the alliance can weather turbulence, even when confronted by unprecedented internal breaches. The world economy could suffer. Financial markets react within minutes. Trade routes face insurance spikes and delays. Energy supplies become bargaining chips. Currencies shift as investors seek safety. Supply chains stall, raising costs. Commodity prices transmit shocks worldwide. Air freight reroutes around restricted airspace. Developing economies feel secondary impacts. Consumers see higher prices and uncertainty. Even small conflicts among allies can trigger global shocks, but coordinated policy can blunt the worst effects. While unlikely, an intra-NATO conflict could lead to temporary suspension of treaties, contingent limits on obligations, regional wars contained by strict red lines, or force diplomatic intervention under intense scrutiny. Every move would be watched worldwide. Stability hinges on restraint and clear communication. NATO was built to prevent conflict, not start it. Understanding hypotheticals reveals the system's safeguards and the delicate balance of global power. For in-depth analysis of alliances, strategy, and security, subscribe to Geopolitic. Thanks for watching.